Welcome back to our live coverage at the 2018 GIS Golf Industry Show here in San Antonio, Texas, brought to you in partnership with Lebanon Turf. I'm Frank Rossi. I'm joined now by Professor Ben McGraw from Penn State University and Ren Wilkes, the tactical marketing manager for John Deere. And we're talking Turf Bowl here, which is near and dear to my heart, mostly mentoring and the value that we bring, and John Deere, I think, is bringing young people to the conference. So for all of you not here, even all of you students that might be watching this, hopefully you'll get on one of these turf teams in the future and get yourself here to compete, although Penn State's been racking it up a little bit lately. We'll get to that in a minute. Ren, thanks for joining me. Why did John Deere get involved with the Turf Bowl to begin with? How long have you been involved?
Over 10 years. Really, it's to support the students, to support the program, and to give them something to look forward to. You know, they look forward to this, Ben's students, you know, all the universities. This year we'll have well over 200 people, and it's grown year after year. So we look at it as a way to support the up-and-coming superintendents.
And this is part of a broader program that John Deere's involved in investing in youth and investing in the next generation of turfgrass managers.
Yeah,
Tell us how this all fits in.
We really like to support the up-and-coming. So through the First Tee, Green Start Academy, Turf Bowl, we want to make sure that the golf industry in the next few years, in the next millennium, have enough people that are educated, that know what's going on, that can continue what we're doing now.
And I think, as we were saying before the camera started and these people back here started screaming and hooting and hollering, which is what you get when you come to a trade show.
Yeah, it's like 16 at TPC.
Yeah, that by
management.
investing in those youth, that you're really investing in the future of this industry as well. And many of these students support John Deere, become golf course superintendents. We're all benefiting from that investment.
Right, and it's really the investment in the industry that we look for. We want to make sure it's sustainable no matter what we do, golf, turf, agriculture. We want to make sure that for years and years to come, we have a great pipeline of people available.
Okay, speaking of pipelines, let's get to this guy. And apparently 3 years in a row now, Penn State, under your tutelage. We lost you in New York. You might have taken the Delhi guys to a couple of championships. The Bill Belichick of the Turf Bowl himself. How about that?
Why do you have to bring that up,
I
Frank?
know.
I didn't even say anything about your vest. You know,
And my tie.
Oh, the tie's nice.
So you've been at this a little bit. I remember when you were at Delhi, you made personally a real commitment to doing it.
Sure.
Tell me what the Turf Bowl's sort of, how you've envisioned it and continued that commitment at Penn State.
Well, I mean, it's definitely student-led, so I see some of my students out in the audience. I did not force them to come here and watch me, but...
They're holding tomatoes, waiting to see what you're going to say.
It's about just giving them a little bit of guidance, but it's really on them. They work hard for it. They want to win. They want to compete. I think there's probably talk between different years of students about what this event is, and it generates some interest about being on the team. I think it's a source of pride for them as well. So I just have to set them in the right direction, I think, and give a little bit of guidance, but it's really on
you're
them.
underplaying the mentoring role, right?
I would also say our success that we've had the last 3 years, 3 national championships in a row.
There we go.
You know?
You're not going to be like Belichick and give me the stone face, are you?
No, I can't do the. I usually use the Bill Belichick analogy about everybody doing their job and all. That's probably not an analogy I'll be using this year, but more Nick Saban maybe. I don't know. I hate to use that. That's not a team that I root for.
So you said the students are interested in being part of it. Is it because when the students go back, as Ren was saying, they say, whoa, man, look at that trade show. Look at all these seminars. Is it this sort of momentum that you're getting, that they see the real value of seeing the size and magnitude of this industry?
Yeah, I mean, it must. I mean, we have a totally rebuilt team this year. So we have one student returning, Nate Labby out there. But other than that, it's almost a fresh team every year. So I think they're hearing about it from previous competitors and the networking opportunities that they've had, and they also see you know, students who are a class above them or 2 classes above them.
And the GCSAA does a great job with it, and they hear about it. There's a lot of pride, you know.
Well,
tomorrow night when the winner's announced, those guys,
it's a pretty big deal.
it's a big deal.
And you know, the fun side, I think there's an inherent human nature to want to compete to a certain extent.
Right,
People get
right.
different doses of it depending. But competition aside, talk about the learning experience, right? I mean, they're answering questions that,
Right.
can we say what percentage of golf superintendents, let's put some, how about we fund a golf superintendent turf bowl and see how they do compared to the students. Tell me about the learning experience you see the students have. Now, they're in class with you
All right,
on a
so-
regular basis.
Yes, and my plug for Pennsylvania State University is
Not the Pennsylvania State University.
Well, some people would say that. I don't like that. But you know, one, the curriculum is really, really strong, and that's why we have really good teams. But if you think about it, they're preparing a whole semester in advance, so they're doing extra studying of a whole range of subjects. I could not do as well as that. I'm a specialist, right? I'm confident in
for
turf
sure.
management and entomology. But
So it's a commitment on their
Yeah,
part, as
they're
well
doing-
as the benefits
yeah.
and fun that they get to have on the other side.
right, so they're doing the weeds, soils, all these really in-depth questions about the whole array of subjects under turf management.
Okay, motivation. It sounds like the momentum is already there. They don't need much motivation. What do you do? I'm not going to ask you how you got 3 championships
Oh,
in a
my
row. You don't have to
goodness,
give me
no.
the secret sauce, but tell me what it's like. You know, obviously they're coming back. There's a lot of excitement. I know you said it's student-led, but there has to be some sort of motivational things that you're doing along the way.
I mean, I think the young men and young women that I've mentored or coached
Yes.
for Turf Bowl, they have that desire to be as good as the team before them, or if not better. So I think there's a lot of internal motivation. I don't have to really charge them up.
Do you want to be the guy that loses a trophy?
Right? No,
Ooh, it's a
don't
tough
say
go.
that.
How is that? Let's talk about the nuts and bolts of the turf bowl.
I don't want this to end, you know. Although it would free up about 6 hours of
That's
my
true,
week,
but we
I
wouldn't get
have
to
to
do this.
these
We'd have to do this
TV
elsewhere. We'd have to do
and-
this elsewhere.
Nuts and bolts.
Oh, my goodness.
How does the turf bowl go? How is it sectioned out?
Well, Frank, I never competed in the turf bowl, so I don't really know.
Well, you're
but-
studying. They're studying for it.
Right,
Do they get a
so-
study guide in some ways? Listen,
They do.
the
They-
word on the
okay.
street was Iowa State was sort of checking out previous exams, and
I've-
looking at the way questions were being asked, and was that, they were doing well for a while. Now you must have the answers. How's
Of
it work
course,
out in the
right.
schedule?
So, like, to go back to the Patriots, everybody says that they're cheaters because they're successful, and so I think Iowa State, we're not even close to what Iowa State has done. I mean, they've been the most successful school in history. They rattled, I can't remember,
A lot in a row.
a lot in a
And
row.
I'm sorry, where is John Deere based?
Well,
There's a what?
There
And I
is.
believe.
Moline,
Oh,
Illinois.
my goodness.
Has anybody ever explored this controversy?
Moline, Illinois.
Moline,
Illinois.
On the other side of the river.
Illinois.
On the-
Right. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So how about the resonating of the Turf Bowl in the people you see over the years, not just have won, but have participated? Do you sort of see, obviously you make your way and watch how the Turf Bowl goes.
Right.
Do you then see later on in distributor networks or working with superintendents where maybe people have been impacted in a real positive way, winning, or just it being such a valuable learning experience?
We do, and especially Green Start Academy. You see, guys 2 years, 3 years out. Now they're assistants. Now they come through the Green Start Academy. It's really exciting to see that connection. And the great thing about it, and someone came up to me today from UConn, student, knew someone that I knew. He sought me out. That's really what these guys and what
Right.
John Deere wants them to understand. It's yes, they need to know their bugs. They need to know their POA. They need to know everything. But it's really about walking in that booth. This guy didn't know me from Adam, but walked up, introduced himself, networked, and that's really what this industry is about. And what we want to get through is these young professionals coming through, walk up, say hi.
That's right.
And the Turf Bowl kind of allows them to do that.
so.
It gives them a stage.
Yeah.
And guys like Ben, walk around with these guys, and
That's right.
people know Ben, and Ben can introduce them.
Right.
You can introduce people,
That's
and
right.
it's really what it's about. It's great to see a guy 2 or 3 years down the road who's gone through, you know, the Turf Bowl, then Green Start Academy, and next thing you know, he's a superintendent somewhere, and you pop in, you know, you see him here. So,
and I would say I see a high percentage of the students who compete in Turf Bowl doing those programs that allow them to get back here. So I think it's kind of like Turf Bowl is the gateway drug to.
Well, let's face it. If they're in school, if they're confident about anything, it might be their technical skills, right? They're studying, they're learning, the formal education, we immerse them in it. That's a real strong suit that gives them some comfort. But what you guys just described are these soft skills that we know are so critical ultimately to their success. How many times have we heard, well, he was a good grass grower, but he couldn't manage that membership. Or, you know, he got himself into he or she got himself into a pickle, and they couldn't get themselves out of it. This is, to me, the competition and the technical stuff. I love that it gets the juices going. But ultimately, what you described, when that young person walks into the booth, looks you in the eye, shakes your hand, says, hey, I know somebody you know. And the next thing you know, you're talking about the latest innovations that John Deere might be bringing to the market with a mower or something. To me, I got to believe that's the sort of exponential effect that you're hoping to get.
And that's what we've seen over the years, you know, and the universities have been great, you know, helping us out, but really we depend on them to bring quality students every year, which they do. And we look for those kids to come through. They'll come through tomorrow, and you'll see, you know, we take them out to dinner afterwards. I know you're going out to dinner, you know.
Well, Ben's always looking to go out to dinner.
I mean,
that's not saying dinner. He's out to dinner all the time.
It's the most expensive thing they do all year.
Yeah, but, you know, we really want to give back to, we really want them to know this is special. You won something special. And hopefully we'll continue that for years to come.
Well, and I think what I hear you saying is, you know, the Turf Bowl, but the Green Start Academy, it's like, okay, they get here, and then they're here, right? And then they come to this, and you got to think after 2-3 years of having this experience under your belt, the comfort level grows, right? And again, a lot of us take for granted the technical knowledge. I mean, it's assumed you know the technical knowledge. I mean, you all of us would say, yeah, you got to know how grass grows, you got to know how to make it successful, but more importantly, you have to be able to talk to somebody about what it is that you're doing. Is there any communication in the Turf Bowl? Is there a sort of something other than the technical? Are we looking at these soft skills at all?
Yes, without a doubt. There's a large section that's case studies or writing. You know, they're supposed to search out superintendents to, you know, in preparation for the case studies, like the guys from the Connecticut Area Golf Course Superintendents Association over there.
Very good.
They're probably helping UConn, so.
That's good. Well,
I know those three guys can't write, so I think that's good for us.
Very fond of the case study education.
Yes.
Al Turgeon really pioneered that stuff into the turf business years ago at Penn State. I think laid the foundation for the world campus in some ways.
Without a doubt.
The ability to give these guys a problem and then have them negotiate, not just say, what bug is this, what weed is this, what disease is this, but problem solving. I got to believe that makes John Deere feel pretty good, because when you get behind a key piece of equipment, and, you know, you're operating it, you got to have awareness around you. Something happens, needs an adjustment. You got to be able to problem solve. I got to believe in and amongst John Deere, golf course superintendents, even young people, honing those problem solving skills early on has got to be something you want in this business.
It makes our life a lot easier when a superintendent, general manager can explain to that board, this is why. It makes sense. They have those skills already developed, you know, through the other organizational things that GCSAA does. You know, they've got the skill set they need, and it's the ones who come to the Turf Bowl, do the extracurricular things, those are the ones that rise above and say, okay, we're going to be the next generation coming in.
So we're on TV because Lebanon Turf said, we want to give people the experience that can't be here. What do you say, you and you, answers to, as we wrap it up already, what do you say to the people that, for whatever reason, are making excuses they can't come?
I think I would tell everyone that even if you can't make it 1 year, it's something you need to come, because there's so many relationships, there's so many people you see. You can plan to go to bed at 8 o'clock at night and you're up till 11 because you walk down the street and you see people. And that's really what this industry is.
Yeah. How about you?
Wow, if you can't make it.
Students, right? In your case, the programs that aren't coming, are all the programs coming?
Are all the programs
Are all the Turfgrass programs coming?
You mean every
most
university
of
that
the
has a
4-year turf programs, 2-year?
I would say I'm not aware of any school that's not coming, but I mean, I can only bring 12 students. I mean, we have hundreds of students.
I know, that's right. So do they compete internally to come?
They compete internally. They, have to adhere to certain
I'm sure you're
team
cracking
rules.
the whip.
Right. So, again, back to Bill Belichick.
Okay, so a perfect way to
yes,
end the segment,
yes.
having to listen to you talk about Bill Belichick. Thank you,
I'm
Ren.
on.
Thank you, Ben, for joining me
Thanks,
here
Frank.
on the Lebanon Turf. GCSAA TV live from the Golf Industry Show here in San Antonio, Texas. We're going to a video from Stone Creek Golf Club on a story about ospreys of all things, so I imagine it's a nest way up in the air. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back in a little bit.